I don't think a robbery is justified because of me. Because the robbery is a bad action and that can bring lots of consequences. And if you need to rob or something like medicine, or if you need like health services, when you do it, a lot of people can hit you bad, and you won't be able to say the reason why you did that. I mean, if you really need to rob it, because if you don't have like any money or anything, and you are like in extreme poverty, in many cases, like for example, police don't really gonna matter what you said about it, and they're just gonna hit you as a robber. So if you need health services or health attention or medicine, I recommend you to ask like someone from the government or just like public services health attention, because that's the way you can have health and you can have like health services and not to robber them.
Yeah?
Yeah. Alright. What do you think about the laws in Mexico about robbery? Well, every country has their own laws about robbery, but in general, almost all of the laws in all the world are the same for robbery. If you're a robber, there are lots of consequences, and they can bring you more and more and more consequences. It depends on the country. But for example, in Mexico, if you're a robber, you can go to jail, but first you're gonna be huge about it. But it depends on what type of robbery that you did. So I think Mexico laws about robbery are pretty good, because there are lots of countries where make like their consequences are really hard or really extreme. And Mexico, it's like jail or they hit you. So I think Mexico's laws about robbery are pretty cool. There are several ways to increase robbery. For example, there are lots of laws in Mexico and lots of rules not to rob, but these aren't like followed by the people. So every store has to have cameras, and it has to be written that there are cameras in that store so the people don't rob it. The laws in Mexico have to be like really strict about robbery, and if you rob, because it's a really bad thing to do and really dishonest thing, there have to be consequences. In lots of cases when you rob, sometimes the police like don't really care about it, or if you pay them, they just let you go. But I mean, this is a really big problem, and a country, in order to be like a really good country, it has to have like lots of rules and to be attended. In lots of cases, the reason why people rob is because of poverty. They need stuff like medicine or health services, or they just want to have more, or they just need to have something. So I think Mexico as a country, the problem is that there's lots of people which are like in low poverty. So in lots of cases, the reason why they're robbers is because they are like in a poverty, really low poverty. So what we need like to stop people to robber is just to have certain like laws that help these kind of people, like the government or just like public health services attention for these kind of people. We also have to be like education, because education is like a really important factor so people be conscious of what they do and not to rob. And they have to be like laws in Mexico that help these kind of people. And if you have to rob because of some places, there should be like places where help these people to let this
No, ya iba.
in order for this to work, there has to be like some laws in Mexico. There have to be like some public services, some public health services, or public attention. So in order to help these kind of people that are like in poverty, in a low poverty level, to help these people and to help them to stop robbery. And if they really need stuff, they have to attend to a place where people who has money gives some kind or stuff they don't need anymore, and other people will need them.